My boss asked me, "Why won't you look at me?" Something broke inside me that day, though she had no idea. Because the truth was terrifying and impossible to ignore. I had been in love with Sophia Grant for 3 months. I'm Ethan Cole, 34, and I had spent the last 90 days lying to myself. Lying that I could sit 20 feet away from the woman I was falling for and stay professional. Lying that avoiding her eyes would make the longing disappear. Lying that I could survive imagining her hand in mine, her lips against mine, waking up beside her after 2 years of loneliness. Sophia Grant isn't just any woman. She's 36, the vice president of our company, my boss, and someone who could end my career with a single call to HR. She's a widow, still wearing her wedding ring on a delicate chain 5 years after losing her husband. She stays late at the office because going home to an empty house hurts more than staying busy. And somehow, seeing her, I recognized myself, the same emptiness, the same desperate hope. 3 months ago, I didn't even notice it at first. She smiled at me, and I smiled back. She brought me coffee on nights when deadlines were crushing us both. She laughed at my bad jokes. She remembered my sister's surgery and asked after her. I thought it was kindness. I thought it was friendship. And then I noticed her hands. How they trembled slightly when she typed fast on her laptop. How she twisted her ring on its chain when she was thinking. How her green eyes, eyes that seemed calm from a distance, could suddenly betray a storm of loneliness if I caught them at the right moment. I tried to push it away. I tried to focus on work. I tried to convince myself that what I felt wasn't dangerous, wasn't reckless, wasn't a problem because, rules. Policies. Professional boundaries. And yet, every day, I felt the ache grow stronger. I remember the Monday morning when I realized it wasn't just admiration anymore. We were in a meeting, and she asked for my input on a project. The way she looked at me, her full attention, that spark of curiosity in her eyes, made my chest tighten. I caught myself imagining a life where she smiled at me like that outside the office. Where I could hold her hand without fear. Where I could kiss her without consequence. I wanted her. Not just the brief office interactions, not just the imagined touch. I wanted her. But she was my boss. And I was smart enough to know how fragile my career was. I had worked 6 years to get where I was, and yet, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Then came the small moments that hurt the most. A hand brushing mine while passing a document. Her laughter carrying across the office just as I thought of asking her out. The subtle scent of her perfume lingering when she left the conference room. Every minor interaction felt like a spark in a forest of firewood. And every time, I pulled back. I learned to avoid eye contact. To keep my voice neutral. To focus on numbers, presentations, schedules, emails. But nothing helped. She had a way of looking at the room, and I would see her eyes land on me, and my chest would seize. I started writing in a notebook I kept hidden in my desk drawer, every thought, every feeling, every longing. I documented her smile. I documented the way her voice changed when she was upset or happy. I even wrote down the day she stayed an hour late, because going home felt unbearable. And the more I wrote, the more impossible it became to lie to myself. Then came Friday, the day she asked me that question. Ethan, why won't you look at me? The office was empty. The sun was setting, painting the room in gold and amber light. I froze. My hands gripped the edge of my desk. My heart pounded. My mind screamed for me to retreat, to avoid eye contact, to say nothing. But something inside me broke. I started, my voice catching. And she waited. Patiently. Vulnerable. Real. She didn't scold me. She didn't demand an answer. She only looked at me, those green eyes wide, unguarded, as if she knew that whatever I said would change us forever. I couldn't lie anymore. Not today. Not ever. I can't look at you, I said, finally. My chest ached as if each word tore through me. Because, when I do, I forget you're my boss. Her lips parted. She blinked. Silence filled the office. Ethan, she whispered, voice trembling. Why? Did I do something wrong? No, my hands shook. You've done nothing wrong. You've only made me feel alive again. After 2 years of feeling nothing. Her hand went to the chain around her neck. I saw the small tremor in her fingers. I wanted to reach out, to take it from her, to tell her everything. But I waited. Because I had to hear her say it. I don't know what to do, she admitted. I shouldn't feel this. I haven't been on a date in 5 years. I've built my life around work. I've built walls around myself. And now, I feel something again, and it terrifies me. I stepped closer, careful not to invade her space too quickly. Sophia, what if it's not betrayal? What if it's just life giving us another chance? Her eyes filled with tears. I saw the loneliness there, mirrored in mine. We both knew the rules, the stakes. One misstep, and careers, reputations, lives, could be ruined. And yet, the pull was undeniable. The office was quiet except for the low hum of the air conditioning and the distant sound of traffic outside. We were standing close now, close enough that I could see the subtle tremble in Sophia's hands, the way her chest rose and fell faster than usual. I don't know if I can do this, she whispered, her voice barely audible. I shouldn't feel this way. I'm your boss. I should maintain boundaries. I should. Stop, I said softly, putting a hand near hers but not touching, just enough to anchor the moment. Sophia, it's okay. We can't control feelings. You didn't choose them, and neither did I. But we can decide what we do about them. Her eyes met mine, glistening with tears. And what if we make a mistake? What if this ruins everything, my career, your career, our lives? I swallowed hard. Then we face it together. But if we deny it, if we bury this, we'll regret it forever. I've spent the last 3 months avoiding you, lying to myself, pretending it wasn't happening. And it is, Sophia. I can't ignore it anymore. Her lips parted. She looked away, swallowed hard, then looked back at me. Ethan. I feel it too. But we just can't. Not yet. Not here. Not like this. I know, I said. My voice shook. But we have to be honest. To ourselves. That's the first step. We moved to sit across from one another, the golden sunset light spilling over her desk. Every shadow in the room felt alive. Every small noise, the hum of the printer, the tapping of the keys, was magnified in my chest. I took a deep breath. Sophia. I've wanted to tell you for weeks, but I was scared. Scared of losing you, scared of losing myself. But the truth is, I'm falling in love with you. And I can't pretend anymore. Her hand flew to her mouth, covering a gasp. I could see tears rolling down her cheeks, glimmering in the sunlight. Ethan. I feel the same. I've felt it for months. But we can't act on it. It's inappropriate. People are already watching us. There are rules, boundaries, policies. If anyone notices the way we're feeling, we'll be destroyed professionally. I nodded. I know. I know the risk. But what if the risk is worth it? What if we can be careful? What if we can make it work without destroying everything? Her hands were shaking now. She fiddled with her necklace, the chain slipping through her fingers. People are already talking. I heard a rumor, someone might have already filed a complaint. HR, they could be investigating us. Ethan, I don't want to risk your job. I can't risk my reputation. I took a careful step closer. We'll handle it. Together. But we can't deny ourselves this chance. We can't pretend we don't feel it anymore. Then, just as the words left my mouth, both of our phones buzzed. Maya Lewis. I grabbed mine, heart racing. It's Maya, I said, looking at Sophia. She's probably calling about us. Sophia hesitated but answered hers anyway. Ethan. Sophia, we need to talk. People are noticing how you two are acting. HR received an anonymous complaint. It's serious, Maya's voice came over the speaker. I'm telling you because I care. I'm not gossiping. But if something isn't addressed, it could escalate fast. Someone could lose their job. Sophia sank into her chair, clutching her necklace. I could feel her panic radiating off her. It hasn't happened, I said quickly. We haven't done anything inappropriate. It's just feelings. We just admitted them. Doesn't matter, Maya's voice was firm. Perception is reality. Even if nothing has happened, HR will investigate. They'll interview people. If they think something is going on, one of you will be transferred, or worse, fired. You know how corporate policies are. Sophia looked at me, her eyes wide with fear. Ethan, my reputation, your job, this could ruin us. I reached for her hand. Not if we're smart. We'll handle it together. I'm not going anywhere. Her fingers trembled in mine. I don't know if I can. I'm scared. I know, I said softly. But fear won't keep us from feeling what we feel. And it won't keep me from telling you the truth. We sat there in silence for a moment, letting the weight of the confession and the HR threat settle. My heart pounded, my mind racing through every possible consequence. Then Sophia spoke. Ethan, what if HR transfers one of us? What if they fire you? I shook my head. I'll take it. I can't lose this chance. Losing my job would be temporary. Losing you? That's permanent. She looked at me, tears spilling over now, and I realized she was crying because she felt the same pull, the same desire, the same fear. I don't know if I can be this brave, she whispered. I've built my life around being careful, around surviving. I haven't risked anything in 5 years. And now? I'm terrified. I leaned closer, my voice quiet but steady. Sophia, we don't have to risk everything blindly. We just have to be honest with each other. Let HR know the truth. Make it official. Protect ourselves while still choosing us. Her gaze held mine. Slowly, she nodded. Okay, we'll do it. But I'm scared, Ethan. So scared. I know, I said. But we'll do it together. And I'll be there every step of the way. Her breath hitched, tears still streaming. And for the first time in months, I felt hope. Not the fleeting hope of a stolen glance or a quiet hallway encounter, but real, tangible hope. Because we had finally stopped hiding. Finally stopped pretending. Finally, we were being honest. The office felt heavier now, full of anticipation and fear. Sophia and I sat across from each other, hands trembling slightly, eyes locked. The HR threat still lingered in our minds, but the truth between us was out. We could no longer pretend. Before we could decide the next step, the door opened. David Sinclair, the CEO, stepped in. His presence alone made the room feel smaller, more intense. Expensive suit, commanding posture, calm but with an edge that demanded attention. Ms. Grant, Mr. Cole, he said, voice steady, controlled. I've been made aware of the situation. Please, explain. Sophia straightened in her chair, swallowing hard. Sir, Ethan and I have feelings for each other. We haven't acted inappropriately, but we wanted to be honest and... David held up a hand. I understand. His eyes scanned us both, lingering on Sophia's tear-streaked cheeks and Ethan's anxious face. You're not the first employees to feel this way, and you won't be the last. But corporate policies exist for a reason. My concern is clarity and protection, for the company and for you both. I nodded. Sir, we've just admitted our feelings. We wanted to make sure HR was informed, so nothing would appear secretive or improper. David leaned against the desk, thoughtful. Very well. Here's what will happen, Ethan, you will be transferred to a new department effective immediately. You'll report directly to me. Sophia, you will disclose this relationship to HR on Monday morning. This way, the reporting conflict is removed, and we handle it properly. Do you understand? Yes, sir, we said together. Relief washed over me, and I noticed it mirrored in Sophia's eyes. Good. Now, David continued, don't let fear rob you of years you could spend being happy. Life is short. Love is rare. And handle it boldly. Now go. I expect everything to be transparent and above board. He left, closing the door behind him. The weight of his words lingered, but they also freed us. Freed us to feel, to act, to live without hiding. Sophia leaned forward, resting her head on my shoulder. Did that just happen? She whispered. I think, our CEO just gave us permission to fall in love, I said, laughing softly through my own tears. We sat there in silence, letting the adrenaline fade, letting the fear transform into something lighter, hope, anticipation, a fragile but thrilling sense of possibility. For the next week, we navigated the formalities. HR meetings, disclosures, official paperwork. Every step was tense, every glance at each other full of unspoken words. But with each interaction, our bond grew stronger. The fear was still there, yes, but it was now paired with excitement, with courage, with the knowledge that we were facing it together. Evenings in the office became different. Coffee breaks included quiet smiles, small touches that were no longer stolen. Conversations lingered just a little longer. Laughter returned, genuine and easy. It was the beginning of something new, a tentative dance of trust and desire that felt both forbidden and exhilarating. Then came the first weekend we spent together outside the office. Dinner at a quiet Italian restaurant downtown, walks along the river, talking about everything and nothing. For the first time in months, I didn't feel the shadow of corporate policy over my shoulder. I just felt her. I felt us. Sophia held my hand across the table, fingers intertwined, and looked at me with a mixture of vulnerability and daring. I'm terrified, she admitted. Terrified of losing control, terrified of what could go wrong. I know, I said. I'm terrified too. But I'd rather be terrified with you than safe without you. Her lips curved into a soft, trembling smile. I think I could get used to this. Months passed. We navigated office life carefully, always mindful of boundaries but no longer denying our connection. Work was professional, yet every stolen glance, every subtle smile, every brief touch reminded us of the life we were building outside the office walls. 6 months later, Ethan, planned something simple but meaningful. Dinner at the rooftop garden of our office building, city lights sparkling around us. Sophia arrived, her eyes wide with curiosity and warmth. I took her hand, holding it tightly. Sophia. I know the past has made us cautious. I know the world expects us to be careful. But I can't wait anymore. I want you. I want us. And I want to choose love with you, no matter what the rules say. Her breath caught. Tears formed in her eyes. Ethan. I feel the same. I've never stopped feeling it. But, it's real now, isn't it? Yes, I said, voice breaking. It's real. And I don't care about the risks. I only care about you. Always. She laughed through her tears, shaking her head in disbelief. I can't believe it. I can't believe we're finally here. I knelt on one knee. Sophia Grant, will you marry me? She gasped, hands covering her mouth, shaking with emotion. Yes, yes, of course. We embraced, kissed, and for the first time in years, I felt the weight of loneliness lift completely. It was terrifying, exhilarating, and perfect all at once. A year later, we were married in a small ceremony right in our office building. Close friends, family, and colleagues who had supported us through the HR disclosure and rumors were there. David Sinclair walked Sophia down the aisle, a proud smile on his face. Maya Lewis was maid of honor, her eyes shining with tears of joy. The vows we exchanged weren't grandiose, but they were honest. They reflected every stolen glance, every risk we had taken, every fear we had conquered. We promised to be brave together, to choose honesty and love above all else, and to never let fear dictate our hearts. From that day forward, life was different. Office meetings still existed. Deadlines still loomed. HR still monitored, and the corporate world continued to spin. But now, it felt like we had the most important thing under control, each other. I learned something profound through it all. Love doesn't follow a schedule. It doesn't respect titles or rules. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is look someone in the eye and tell them the truth, even when everything seems to be against you. My boss asked why I wouldn't look at her. I told her, because when I did, I forgot she was my boss. And that vulnerability, that honesty, that willingness to risk everything, gave us everything. Now, when I look at Sophia, I don't see my superior. I see the woman who makes my heart race, who makes my life brighter, who reminds me every day that love, real, messy, courageous love, is worth every fear, every risk, every sleepless night. And sometimes, that's exactly what we need to remember about the people around us. Not their titles. Not their roles. Not the walls they put up. But their humanity. Their heart. And the possibility that, just maybe, taking the leap is worth it.